Welcome back to Ghost Pirate Entertainment. I'm your host, Kainan Becker, and today we talk about the film Phantoms.
Show yourself.
Phantoms is a film that I completely believe is underrated, like criminally underrated. I've loved this movie since I first saw it in theaters in 1998. It's based on a Dean Koontz novel, and then he also did the screenplay. And this film has a fantastic cast, including the legendary Peter O'Toole and Ben Affleck, as well as Liev Schreiber and Rose McGowan. It's just a brilliant cast of young stars, two of which had just been in the Scream movie. So they were definitely considered up-and-comers at the time. And I remember how I was a fan of all of the people in this movie and just so excited to see this. And I love it. It just is a really awesome movie. And I'll never understand why it hasn't gone on to be more of a cult classic. I'll never understand why it wasn't a success in the first place when it first came out. And I mean, it flopped. It only did like $5 million in box office sales, which for a movie of this level at the time that's this well produced, acted, directed, music, everything was, put in place. Like, they really were trying to do something with this. This isn't this low budget, nothing movie. This was meant to be a legit horror movie that was gonna be, maybe not quite as successful as Scream, but it was done in that same time frame where, this was expected to do things. For fans of Lovecraftian horror, and especially cosmic horror, this fits right in with some of the best movies that have been done in that subgenre. To me, this would be a great double feature with Event Horizon or In the Mouth of Madness, that type of movie. And I love it for that. That's some of my favorite, if not my favorite, subgenre of horror. And this just doesn't disappoint. Everything is solid throughout this whole movie. There's not a lot of flaws with it. It's just a really well put together Dean Koontz adaptation. And I have a blast every time I watch this film. This movie just feels so warped and twisted and dark and creepy, but in a really fun way where it doesn't feel like some movies like that, it gets so dark and it just kind of starts to feel depressing. This in no way feels depressing. It feels fun all the way through, even though it is that really dark, really creepy type of film. This has just a really unique feel about it too. It's kind of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but it's different. It has much more of a demon possession feel, even though it's not necessarily demons. And it just kind of bridges the gap between those two movies, and it kind of takes a little from a invasion space, alien type of movie, and a movie more about demon possession and ghost possession. So it's kind of got that, feet on both sides. The basic premise is these young people come to this town and all of a sudden there's no one there and they can't figure out what's going on, and creepy, weird things start happening, as well as finding people dead, but mostly nobody, not even bodies, and just really weird, bizarre things start happening. They start seeing weird creatures, and it just gets really, really warped and really fun. And Ben Affleck plays the sheriff and Liev Schreiber plays his deputy. And they basically join up with these two sisters to try to figure out what is going on. And it just gets more and more warped as they travel around this little town trying to figure out what's going on. And it just gets so warped and twisted and fucked up, but just in a really fun way. I really enjoy this movie. But my favorite thing about this movie is probably Liev Schreiber. It's one of my favorite performances I've ever seen from him. He just plays this crazy dude that's just not quite right. And it starts out in the beginning where he's just kind of quirky, weird, kind of bizarre, like a creeper a little bit. And you're kind of like, what is up with this dude? And then as things get more and more fucked up, he gets more and more fucked up until he just literally falls off the cliff, so to speak, into complete madness and just insanity. And he plays it so well and so fun. And the ending of this, I feel, is really strong as well, because it leaves you with this unsettled feeling, kind of along the lines of The Thing, and you're left thinking about this movie long after the runtime. And I'm not giving away what happens at the end, but you're definitely left with it being up to you to decide what you think happens. And it has this cool feeling that just kind of leaves you with thinking about it and having it roll through your brain, and that's just super cool to me. And it's It's great for having conversations with your friends about this movie and debating what you think this creature is, what you think will happen next. All those kind of fun questions for people that like to think about movies and talk about them and just have those dialogues about movies and meanings and whatnot. But without being too much of an artsy, kind of movie. Like, it is still fun. It is still a late 90s horror with, the horror practical effects, a little bit of CGI. But the CGI that is done is not bad. I don't have a problem with it. I just think that this movie is balanced on every level, and it's just really a great, fun movie that doesn't take itself too serious without being just slapstick silly either. It's got that nice balance where it's serious but not so serious that you're not having fun watching it. So I would recommend this highly. If you've never seen this, I highly recommend running out and watching this right away. The only place I know of where it's available is on Cinemax. So if you have the Cinemax app or the Cinemax channel, then it's available. Otherwise, you're going to have to spend like $3.99 or whatever it is on Amazon Prime. But I promise you, it's worth the watch. And if you've seen it, I'd love to know what your thoughts are on it. If you don't like it and why. If you do like it, why. Let's just have a conversation about it. But if you can, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and ding the little bell so that you can keep track of when I post videos like this. And I post videos like this about twice every single week. But like always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please crush that like button. And remember, horror can be fun. I'll see you guys next time.